grinning. La 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 la. They tried to slap that look right off my face, but I'm still grinning. And the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE SmackDown every Saturday night. My name's Jonathan Dell. I'm joined by Dom Sertilla. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
We're 1 week away from WWE Survivor Series. Will you and I survive this episode of SmackDown? John, without further ado, don't bury the lead. What's our top story from SmackDown for November 21st, 2025?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is a talking segment at the end of SmackDown, which saw a lot of wrestling, but we had a talking segment. And AJ Lee is the fifth man on the face side, because that's pretty much what they are.
Yep.
And Becky Lynch is the fifth man for the heels, as there's kind of a schmoz at the end there. Lots of talking, but we finalize the teams for Survivor Series, aka War Games here. And Dom, what'd you think of this ending talking segment here on SmackDown?
I think it's symptomatic of what has happened to the women's division on SmackDown, that the only in-ring segment of the night featuring women's wrestlers was a very brief talking segment and then a schmoz. This was it for women's wrestling tonight.
Weird, right? Because the women's division has pretty much carried SmackDown from the time we've started to watch it, right?
At times, yes. I mean, there was the bloodline, but like it was even.
Yeah.
For a while. And now there's clearly the women aren't getting a lot of TV time. They buried the women's titles over the last few months.
Yeah, for sure. Both
Julia having the U.S. title for the women, they buried her. Tiffany Stratton nearly got buried. Now Jade has the belt. She's had a squash match and that's it. They put the U.S. belt back on Chelsea Green, which is wonderful, but then they just have her do a backstage segment 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, and then Jade came out. They hit her music one time. She's like, I am that bitch. And then she left. I was like,
she left.
Okay.
They booked her for a squash promo. So tonight we finally get women's wrestlers in the ring. It's at the end. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Rhea does all the talking while Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are there. And I thought that was good for Rhea because Charlotte was also there in the ring. And the fact that they gave Rhea the mic and are having her be sort of the captain of this team.
Yeah.
I thought really spoke volumes about Rhea Ripley, that she's really the leader of this group. CM Punk is right. At the end of the Australian tour, he had the last match of the tour on the house show. And so they had him close the show and say goodbye to everybody. And he called Rhea and Io Sky out to the ring with him just to say goodbye to everybody, because seeing like Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, these are the future.
Wow.
And I think he's right there. So Rhea basically says, allow us to introduce our fifth wrestler, and AJ Lee's music hits, and they're all looking at AJ Lee coming out from the entranceway, and that's when the four known heels, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and then Nia Jax and Lash Legend, attack from the announce table side through the crowd, because, heels are very popular. They're just mingling with the audience. And they attack from the back. AJ Lee notices this after doing her poses. She rushes to the ring, and that's when Becky Lynch jumps out of the crowd over the barricade and floors AJ Lee.
Right.
And then after the big old schmoz, Becky Lynch climbs into the ring, walks over to Asuka, and extends her hand to shake hands. So they're also playing it up like Asuka is sort of the leader of this heel team.
Mhm.
Because whoever Becky walks over to, it's kind of like that's the leader, right?
Yeah.
She goes right for Asuka and shakes her hand. So we've
Which
got our 5-on-5 for War Games, which is what you're looking for. How do you think the teams have shook out here? I mean, like we could bemoan the fact that this was the only women's anything on the show, but we could do that all day. We
I
could
do
put up
Mm.
cloud graphics for that, and we could just, hey, back in my day, 2 years ago, there'd be a women's match. But
which
what say you about how the teams have shaped out here? Do you think it's War Games worthy? Do you like it?
it is hilarious to say back in my day there was more women's wrestling when really it's like
Right?
that's a new thing. But
Yes.
I do like okay, I wrote in my notes, I like all the heel women. Like I think pretty much all of them I am it's like they made a team that I would like. Um
Right?
you've got Nia Jax, right?
Yep.
Who we've been big fans of for a while, and I think we've both agreed like she's really improved. I don't think you had seen her before, but I liked how she's improved.
Yep.
Lash Legend, who, for all intents and purposes, feels like when I saw her the one time, I was like, why isn't she Jade? I was like, she looks like Jade, but she can work. Why
Yes.
did they sign Jade? They had Jade down there and
Yeah.
she can work.
Yes.
And then to Lash Legend, I'm
We already
very
have Lash Legend. Why do we need Timu Lash
we
Legend?
don't we have Timu Lash Legend. I thought right away I was like, yeah, she's good, and I feel like she's got. I find her to be pretty promising, so I'm glad that they're bringing her up, and I'm glad they're bringing her up with Nia Jax because I feel like Nia has a good way of buddying with people or having rivalries with them. She's loaded with charisma, you know.
Yep. It was good for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. And not to bury this intro, but when I do a breakdown of a specific spot, I think Nia Jax also is very charismatic, even if she's losing her top. She knows how to play it off. But anyways, yeah, I'm really looking forward to you. You're a big fan of Becky Lynch, and I've kind of liked her as the Intercontinental Champ, and actually turning heel, unlike her husband who plays tweener. Like
Yep.
she's a heel's heel, right? So I
Yes.
love the heel team.
Yep.
I do have to say I'm glad, as far as the face team's concerned, that AJ Lee is not the captain.
Yeah.
Because there is this tendency right now where all these old people are leading the show and in the main events. I mean, we're talking Cena, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. I mean, they're talking about people that are either already surprising that they're still wrestling, and Brock can still go, but and he's still physically in shape to do it. But you look at guys like CM Punk and John Cena, they've lost a step, but they're still like at the top, right?
They're at least full-time-ish wrestlers, though.
Yeah. Right.
AJ Lee, they've been kind of saving her. It's been
Yes.
two very special things. One was the couples retreat with her and CM Punk against Seth and Becky.
Yeah.
And now they're just bringing her back basically to have a reason to have Becky Lynch on the heel team, it seems.
Yeah, I wonder if that rivalry has some legs there between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. It seems like
Well,
they were
and now
trying.
that Becky doesn't have a belt, they probably could do it. Because I think one of the concerns was you can't have AJ Lee feud with someone who's a champion, because then obviously AJ Lee can't win the belt unless she's coming back full time.
Mm-hmm. Dom, I'll tell you what though. From my perspective, this was like the shortest main event, and I don't want to say nothing burger, but it's basically like, all right, these are both the teams now. It wasn't anything that crazy. So I actually was shocked that it was in the main event. I was like, because we had a lot of good wrestling that could have easily been a part of the main event, right?
See.
What do you think? Or you want me to go first here and decide what match we want to start with?
My pick for match of the night was the first match we saw from the John Cena Memorial whatever tournament,
Mhm.
whatever they're calling it. The last time is now get your butt kicked by John Cena Memorial Tournament.
Right. Who
Unless
wants to lose
Gunther
to
wins,
John
in which
Cena?
case Gunther's winning.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
between Carmelo Hayes and Bronson Reed. This was a cool match. They found a way to make Carmelo Hayes not the heel. First of all, it was the opponent. Carmelo Hayes winds up winning on a countout after this became a big War Games preview.
Yeah. This was a
As
good one.
Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Braun Breaker come down, which brings out the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso, and then eventually Cody Rhodes emerges after everybody else fights through the crowd and out of the ring area. And it's down to just Bronson Reed trying to pummel Carmelo Hayes on the floor. Cody Rhodes, we're still wearing his suit and still bloody from the attack in his bust that opened the show by Drew McIntyre, who's not allowed in the building, but apparently he's allowed in the parking lot.
Right.
Just the parking lot is not in the building. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Nick Aldis. Wow, you just banned him from the building. Yeah. I beat him up in the parking lot. So he beats up Cody Rhodes, and now Cody Rhodes, instead of going to get medical attention at the hospital, is apparently lurking backstage and picking his spot. He
Yeah.
jumps the barrier while the ref is distracted by Paul Heyman. This backfired on the wise man, the Oracle.
Mhm.
Cody Rhodes ambushes Bronson Reed from behind, throws him into the ring post, hits Crossroads, tosses Carmelo Hayes into the ring, and Cody ducks out of the way. The ref counts out Bronson Reed, who cannot answer the 10 count. Carmelo Hayes advances in the tournament. Cody Rhodes grabs the mic, stands on the announce table, and cuts a short but very good, dare I say, excellent promo in which he starts referencing the history and how War Games was started by his father, Dusty Rhodes.
I
And
loved the
he
Cody
ends it,
promo. I
right.
loved
He
it.
ends it by saying, War Games is my birthright.
Yeah. I do have that in my my notes, and I rarely say this about promos in general. I feel like are very boring oftentimes,
Mhm.
but I like the Cody promo. There was a lot of intensity to it, and the
Yes.
crowd was responding to the intensity. And you know, sometimes he just sounds like corporate Cody, and here he didn't sound
Yes.
like corporate Cody. He talked about his family, his lineage, you know, a lot of the intensity there, and he hurt their chances in the match. He didn't just set. He walked the walk and talked the talk, right?
Yep.
You know, it was like, hey, you're gonna screw me, I'm gonna screw you guys, and then I'm coming for you too. You know.
I love when he looked at Paul Heyman and addressed him and says, "You're the wise man, the oracle, all the things you are." And then he starts listing how he's beaten everybody that Paul Heyman is. I mean, he didn't say CM Punk, but Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. In fact, I'm the last guy to beat Brock Lesnar, and I did it twice.
Yeah.
You keep setting them up, and I keep knocking them
them
down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yes,
great.
this was not, smiley faced. So what do you want to talk about, Cody Rhodes? This was still bloodied, still disheveled, not in his ring gear, spitting fire Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, no, this was excellent. And so what do you want to talk about is an odd opener, but I think it at least gets him aligned and lets you know what's happening, but it's not like a banger. You know.
No.
I would actually drop that if I were him. Because I'm like, who cares? Why are you saying this? But enough about the promo. I really liked it. Couple things I wanted to point out.
Sure.
People loved the count out. They went
Right?
crazy for it. And
They're counting.
I told you, Dom, the people, they love to count. So they got to
I
count.
have cited your insight in online documents. Yes.
The people love to count. And they
Yes.
loved the count out, which is the funniest thing to me because it's such a Weasley way and a boring way typically to get a win. But in this situation, they were all about it. They were like, yeah, and they were like into it. They were like pumped, like, yes, he got counted out.
Yes.
And usually the count out is used to like for someone to face to win, but he doesn't win the belt, something
Yes.
like that, and that's why there's a count out. It's always something disappointing. But in this situation, it was a tournament, so the count out counted. So they're
Yes.
like, yeah. I would like to see more count outs. After I saw tonight's, I was like, I think I would like to see more of that.
I'm going to say yes and no. I'm going to say yes when it's used correctly. It's awesome. They did that with Maxine Dupree against Becky Lynch on Raw, where Becky was bragging too much and Maxine Dupree wound up winning by countout, which not only infuriated Becky, but it gave Maxine a title shot because she's now technically beat the champ.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they used it like a month ago, which gave Maxine Dupree her title shot, which she won. She's now the Women's Intercontinental Champ.
Okay.
Which is great.
So they do use it.
They use it, but they use it sparingly and for the right
Which they
reason.
should. I mean, it should be sparing. This is the first count out I think I've ever seen on SmackDown. I can't even think of one.
Right, but it was so well done. It was a way to get Carmelo Hayes a win without burying Bronson Reed. I think it worked for everybody because you didn't want Carmelo Hayes to pin Bronson Reed.
No.
On the other hand, you didn't want Bronson Reed advancing in this tournament. And you also wanted the babyface team for War Games to get a little bit of an upper hand.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit heading into Raw this coming week. So I like how they did it. I don't want to bury Carmelo Hayes here. I thought he wrestled an awesome match.
Me too.
And kudos to Bronson Reed for knowing how to be a big man in a match against a guy who's obviously smaller than him.
Yeah.
Like he seemed to know when to sell and when to shake it off like the monster.
I've liked Bronson Reed so far.
Agreed.
And Carmelo Hayes, I think we've seen him have his moments, right?
Yes.
In certain matches. And I've been kind of pulling for him. And it just really hasn't seemed like it's clicked all together because it's like, I think it's because he's been wrestling heel and he's incorrectly wrestling as a heel. He's a face.
Yep.
And tonight even really proved, or last night even proved it. The crowd was willing to cheer for him, and he's got an electric move. He's got a fun moveset.
Yep.
I love the DDT onto the outside of the apron. He hit the top rope to like fling himself up and DDT him. So he used the high spot stuff without it with purpose. It wasn't just gymnastics to do gymnastics. So
and it made sense because he's clearly the smaller wrestler, so he's got to find ways to do high impact moves all the time. He just can't sit there and trade punches with a guy who outweighs him by 150 pounds.
Totally, yeah. He can't go head to head. He has to take that like gigantic jump up in the air and then do the harsh DDT because he's so much bigger than him.
Yep.
Okay, I have one very dumb thing I want to say. Sure. So there was a dive. And then there were holy shit chants. And they must be watching this channel because they were so disgusted with the dive that they started chanting, holy shit, holy shit. So there's that. I think it's a don't bury the lead, basically influencing the crowd because of how much I hate dives. They started chanting, holy shit. And then I loved the Logan sucks chant, who's not even in the match. He was just getting Logan sucks. So I like that. Anything
He's
else?
well cast as a heel.
Yeah.
Very few people are just dying to cheer for Logan Paul at the moment.
Logan is such an interesting character at this point because it is him just being himself. And him just being himself in any way, shape, or form gets a big pop of boos, right?
Yes.
Not like Dom Mysterio, where we're all kind of in on the joke. It's more like, no, I hope someone hurts this guy, you know? It works, though. It works. Anything else from your end from the Carmelo Hayes Bronson Reed match?
I thought it was the match of the night, even though it ended with a count out and with interference. Just because how well these guys performed. I hope this is the start of something big for Carmelo Hayes.
Me too.
He's been a workhorse, sort of like JD McDonough, who maybe we can go to next, his match as well. But Carmelo Hayes has been a workhorse. he's the guy, they put him on TV and he makes the most of his time there, even though he's not getting a push.
Yeah.
And
No.
and this is perseverance, right? You know, every
Totally.
time they send him out there, he does his best. He doesn't mail it in. And maybe this is the start of him getting a push. You know, I like when we can see guys maybe getting rewarded. It doesn't mean they're going to put, one of the world titles on him,
hmm
but it means that maybe people in the back are recognizing that the guy is very talented, and he's more than talented. He pays attention and he works hard when he's out there. And he tries to make the most of everything he gets.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Dom, from my perspective too, like I saw this matchup and I thought, they're gonna job out Carmelo Hayes. And I was thinking, what are they doing with this guy? Like I almost predicted, like, yeah, he's gonna lose to Bronson Reed. And I was like, what are they doing with this guy? Like, he's just gonna have this competitive match and lose to all these people. And they
Yep.
finally, gave him a big win, which they haven't given him. And when they gave him the big win, I thought it was really deserved. And I was like, all right, well done, Triple H, because you kind of tricked me there, because I was thinking he's gonna lose, and
Hmm.
he wins, and again, more properly booked as a face rather than a heel. I hope the same thing. I hope this he can build on this momentum and get something going. But yeah, so we were just talking about him. How about we go move to this match? We have Dragunov versus JD McDonough,
Mhm.
and which could have also easily been match of the night as well,
Yep.
as this
Yep.
one was excellent. Dragunov picks up the win and retains the U.S. title, but JD McDonough looked really good during this match. Dom, what'd you think of this U.S. title match?
Longest match of the night, 15 and a half minutes. JD McDonough on the small side. He's
Mhm.
one of the few guys that Ilya Dragunov looks the bigger wrestler to.
Mhm.
But like, don't let JD McDonough's size fool you. I mean, he may not have the build to ever be a world title guy, but again, he's been the Carmelo Hayes on the Raw brand, where
Mhm.
whatever they need this guy to do. I mean, I remember, what was it, a couple of Survivor Series ago, when this guy took the RKO off the top of the cage,
Mhm.
where he went for his flying headbutt and Randy Orton caught him for the RKO. I mean,
Mhm.
this guy takes crazy bumps
Mhm.
and always seems to emerge healthy from it. I mean, this is a very skilled athlete in the ring.
Mhm.
He's an excellent heel too, because he's always annoying and trying to really needle guys and take little shortcuts here and there. So
Mhm.
he's been an excellent heel. I do like the fact that they didn't book him to be squashed here.
Mhm.
He looked really strong early. The announcers even talked up that he and Ilya Dragunov had a big rivalry in NXT, which
Mhm.
I don't know about, but I can see it because their styles mesh well together. They're
Yes.
very similar. McDonough is more of a high flyer,
Mhm.
but they both work quick. They're very crisp and precise in what they do, and they can each not only bump, but they can deliver moves as well.
Mhm.
This was a fun thing. I mean, JD McDonough did a sit out jawbreaker at one point, and they kept talking about what a big head he's got, like physically a big head. Um, he countered a spinning lariat at one point with a standing Spanish fly.
Yeah. Yeah. That
A standing Spanish fly.
that spot, to me, I have that written down. I loved it because that Spanish fly had more of a natural look than when we see it most of the time.
Yep.
Most of the times, it's like the guys set up and they go 3, 2,
Right.
1, and flip together,
Blast off.
blast off. This looked like what the Spanish fly probably should look like,
Yep.
where you're avoiding a guy, and then when you avoid the guy, there's all that momentum, and then you can take him over that way,
Yep.
because there's so much momentum coming over. I was like, this is exactly what this move should be. Not
Yep.
two guys standing on top of the ropes and then jumping together, choreographed like it's gymnastics. No,
Yes.
this didn't look like it looked like a real wrestling. It looked like a wrestling move. It's
It
the
could either
best.
look like this or Ricochet dumping Logan Paul on his head through a table.
Or that was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst one actually. When Logan Paul botched the Spanish Fly and they both almost died basically.
The finish happens when JD McDonough headbutts Ilya Dragunov. Ilya stumbles backwards off of the ropes, so it wasn't quite an Irish rip. Let's whip into the ropes. But he stumbles backwards off the ropes, springs off of them. He uses it as momentum to hit his torpedo, where he launches himself into the guy. Then a power bomb, and then his leaping forearm for the pinfall. Match goes 15 and almost 15 and a half minutes. The crowd also at one point thought JD McDonough was going to win and was ready to cheer for him. It was shortly before this. Big sequence where Ilya Dragunov avoids a top turnbuckle moonsault. JD landed on his feet, but Ilya hit him with a big boot to his face, then a side slam. Went for his torpedo, but JD landed a high knee and then nailed the top turnbuckle moonsault. Ilya Dragunov kicked out at 2.5. The crowd was counting along and was audibly reacting to the kick out.
Yeah.
There's some kick outs where the crowd is always like, okay, he's going to kick out. Like this time the crowd went, oh.
They thought he had him. Yeah.
They thought JD McDonough was going to win.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
We got the Fixer here. Sorry I'm late, guys. I'm at work and was busy. No problem, Fixer, and thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining. We're a little late ourselves, and don't go missing the opportunity to put food on the table and clothes on the back on our account.
Right.
If you miss us live, head on over to YouTube. The full archive of these live streams is there. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube. But as always, we appreciate the effort joining us live.
Ilya versus JD was a good match. JD needs a title. We were just talking about how good JD was, actually.
Yep.
But yeah,
I could see him with a U.S. title or an Intercontinental title. He's had a title as a tag teamer with Finn Balor with the tag team titles, and it looked like it fit. Those two guys wrestle well together.
Yeah,
and they made the excuse that's why JD McDonough's on SmackDown tonight, because his stablemate from the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, had a match tonight in the John Cena anybody not Gunther's going to lose to me tournament.
Who wants to lose to Cena unless you're Gunther? You'll probably win then.
The Who Wants to Lose to John Cena at Saturday night's main event unless you're Gunther tournament.
I love it. That's what we're calling it from now on.
It was Finn Balor is here. I don't want to know if you want to move to that match next.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep it moving. This was a good one, but
Penta versus Finn Balor match goes a little more than 10 minutes. Finn Balor does not win. Finn Balor, if this guy were on SmackDown more often, he'd be in line for the maybe the Ricochet Memorial Award.
Yeah, I have
a former Universal Champion.
Yeah,
this guy does a lot of putting over people.
Is
he the Dolph Ziggler of the current roster?
I don't think I've seen him get a win.
World title capable and has that in his resume and his pedigree, his curriculum vitae, if you want to get fancy. But now he's just going out there and doing awesome stuff, and other guys are going over.
Totally. You know, it's really funny. I don't remember the last time I've seen him win.
Right.
And he loses all the time. And he was an IWGP champ.
Yep.
The guy in New Japan. He was in NXT. He won the NXT title. That's the top one.
Mm-hmm.
Then he moves, and I think the top one then meant a lot more than it does now. When he had won it, he came to the WWE. He won the Universal title, which was the top one then, and was injured.
Yes.
During the match, so he had to relinquish it, and that was sort of it for him. He just kind of had this trajectory down, and right now he's just a veteran, putting people over, or letting people go over him, you know.
Yeah.
But
he looks good doing it though. He's been a stalwart in Judgment Day, so his leadership is helping other guys improve. I mean, if you look how many people once Edge was not going to be a full-time wrestler anymore since he had started Judgment Day. If you look at the people that Finn Balor has helped develop by going through Judgment Day, it's Damian Priest, world champion. Rhea Ripley, world champion, maybe the biggest superstar on the WWE roster. Nobody gets a bigger pop than her, and she can do anything. It's Dominic Mysterio, who now some people say he's going to be a future world champion.
Absolutely.
It's JD McDonough, who has the skills, if not the size and the charisma, yet they haven't given him a chance. It has revitalized Raquel Rodriguez's career coming back from her illness, her chronic illness that she has. It's given Roxanne Perez a lane to succeed on the main roster.
Yeah.
And it also helped Liv Morgan really go from being a B+ performer to an A performer that they may have overworked and put too much stuff on by the time she got hurt.
Yeah.
But you can say that these are all people who've kind of gotten a boost and maybe stood on the shoulders, or at least on the hands as he gives them a boost, of Finn Balor over the last 3 or 4 years.
We got this from the Fixer. Finn Balor is pretty old, but he needs another title run.
If he won Money in the Bank, you'd be cheering for him to cash in and do it successfully, right?
Yeah, definitely. He could be a guy that they can give an intermediate title to, and he would be great with it because he's already had top belts, right?
Yep.
I mean, those are guys that have proven they can have a belt. So,
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, to the Fixer's point, he's getting a little older. He's been there for so long that they can't just keep making him the champ, right? So I think the guys just kind of recycle down into these like veteran roles. Sheamus does this too. Sheamus is a champ, but like he's never going to get the title shot again. But he'll always be a reliable hand.
Absolutely, and if he were Triple H or one of Triple H's friends, then they could give him like 14 title reigns.
Right? Or if he left and went to AEW and then came back, then he would get so many title reigns. Unbelievable.
Yeah, then they'd give him enough to like have his own bus and fresh tailored suits every show.
Right.
As it is, he's been the good he's been the good employee, and he's great in his role. I don't have a lot of notes from this match because it's just Penta doing flippy stuff and Finn Balor doing Finn Balor stuff. And it was entertaining for the 10 minutes that it went. But like you alluded to earlier, there was a lot of great wrestling on this show. So this match kind of just, it wasn't a forgettable match, but compared to what was on the show, it became like, oh yeah, these two guys wrestled, and yeah, it was pretty good. But I just don't have a lot of stuff for it.
I watched it out of order, and I thought Penta versus Finn Balor was pretty good. And then I watched the other stuff because I watched the beginning, and I was like, oh, wait a second, all this stuff's banging. So, because sometimes it's like there's only one good match on this, one digestible match on a SmackDown. That's happened before, right? So I was like, well, I better enjoy this one. Penta was over, though. So Penta knocks off Finn Balor. Penta's over, and I haven't seen Penta. I've only seen Rey Fenix, and Rey is not over, and he's losing a lot. And it's just like, now I see Penta, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're not trying to do the Lucha Bros thing because they got something with Penta. Maybe they think they got them because he was the IC champ. Maybe they think they got like a top singles competitor out there.
Yes.
Because he takes care of Finn Balor rather easily. I did have two things to say.
Sure.
WWE has been doing a lot of pump handle stuff.
Yeah, right.
I saw Penta do two different pump handle slams. Dragunov does the pump handle slam.
He does a pump handle almost suplex.
Suplex. It's like a pump handle suplex. And I want to say I might have seen another pump handle tonight. And I don't know which match it was, but I've been seeing
Ripley's Riptide is a pump handle power bomb.
Yeah, the Riptide. Everything's pump handle with them.
Yes.
I feel like somebody came in and trained them on the pump handle, and they're going to town on it. But I love the pump handle. But
like 5 years ago, everybody learned how to do a super kick and a dive.
Yes, the dive. 5 years ago was the dive. So I would much rather see a pump handle every match over a dive. That's actually what I would love to see is pump handle. What I would hate to see is a dive. So
yeah.
I can't help it. Whenever I watch these matches, I think, I would like to add that to my repertoire. And I see some of the pump handle slams. I'm like, oh, I would be doing that. So, one more thing about this match.
Yes.
Canadian Destroyer. So the
You don't like-
Canadian. No, I do not like the Canadian Destroyer.
Okay.
It looks very fake because it's all the other wrestlers flipping, and not you. So, I don't like the Canadian Destroyer, and I said at least it's a finisher. It's supposed to be a crazy move. At least it's the finisher. But I do not like.
I talked about this 2.5 years ago. Backlash in Puerto Rico. That's how the Bad Bunny Damian Priest match ended. Because it was the only finisher that Bad Bunny could hit because Damian Priest, who took the move, did all the work.
Right. Yeah. Yes, we did talk about this. Okay.
That's when we said Damian Priest became a star tonight because he got a great match out of Bad Bunny and hit a finisher on himself so Bad Bunny could go over.
It is a finisher on yourself. Exactly. The other person has to do everything, and it doesn't look like you do anything. And in reality, with the mechanics of it, when you look at it, you're like, yeah, this is gymnastics. This isn't a physical move on someone else. And then they called it the Mexican Destroyer, and I'm like, don't change the name. It's the Canadian Destroyer just because it's a Mexican. So, anyways, at least it was
Frankensteiner to Hurricane Rana.
Right. We got a couple other comments that came through here.
Very good.
Talking of the Last Time Is Now tournament, Sheamus is out with a shoulder injury. Rumor has it his replacement will be The Miz.
His replacement is going to face LA Knight.
Okay.
So I wonder if this was maybe planned all along because they didn't want to do babyface. I've been thinking maybe it's going to be another surprise and it's going to be Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Because Miz LA Knight, I'm not. Are they going to have Miz go to like the semifinals? It sounds like LA Knight's got to win this.
Yeah, LA Knight would have to win, but
and then the question becomes: it's Rusev, Jey Uso. Is Jey Uso going to win again, or are we looking at Rusev, LA Knight in the semis?
And is Gunther? He's in it, right?
Gunther, I think, is on the other side of the bracket.
Okay, gotcha.
I think Carmelo Hayes faces Gunther.
Sorry.
So, been nice knowing you, Carmelo Hayes. And now we know why they were so big on getting you some babyface reactions. Because they want Gunther to come back as a heel.
Yeah, and he's going to be...
They're not ready to turn Gunther face.
Yeah, even though people do like him. So
we like him.
Yeah, maybe we like him. I don't know if other people like him.
And by people, I mean you and I.
And then one other thing here, we got... I'm surprised they haven't added Julia to Judgment Day, considering her status is kind of flagging.
Yeah.
And I think turning her heel hasn't gone over all that well.
Julia to the Judgment Day. The problem is they have too many women wrestlers already. By the time Royal Rumble comes around, Liv Morgan's going to be back. I don't think they need 4 women getting into catfights every week.
Catfight.
With each other. They're already setting up Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez for that. They were doing a little of it already before Liv got hurt.
Yeah.
I think when stables become too big, they really lose it. I forget who said it, but somebody mentioned more than 4, you're really pushing it. The 4 horsemen. Right? The bloodline, when they added Sammy, it was Roman Reigns and 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
The Vision had 3. Maybe they were going to add Logan Paul, but with Paul Heyman, that's as much as you want to go. You don't want to go NWO and make it too big.
No, you want to avoid NWO.
You want to avoid what the NWO became.
When it initially started, it was awesome. Then eventually, it was half of the roster was on NWO, and the other half of the roster was WCW. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay, so we got one more match. Dom, you want to take us through it? We got DIY versus Fraxium, and DIY picks up the win when a
Yeah.
mask gets pulled off. What an interesting finish. Dom, what you think of this match?
Candice LeRae, you are correct. As the referee is distracted, Candice LeRae, who is in the corner of DIY, grabs Axiom's mask, and as she drops down off the apron, the mask comes with her. And Axiom, of course, is now paralyzed. It's like cutting off Samson's hair. Suddenly, he just drops on his back to the mat, covering his face. You would think if he was really that concerned, he'd roll over on his stomach and cover his face, or roll out of the ring and try to roll over to the timekeeper's area and get a towel or something, which they eventually did. But no, Axiom loses his mask, goes into the center of the ring on his back, covering his face with his arms, where he is easy pickings for Johnny Gargano to pin him 1, 2, 3. The ref was distracted. Axiom had hit a top turn Spanish fly on Gargano as Nathan Frazier took out Ciampa on the floor. The ref was distracted by the guys on the floor instead of looking at the, well choreographed Spanish fly between Axiom and Johnny Gargano. Besides the finish, this was a lot of high flying stuff for Axiom, between Axiom being the high flyer and Nathan Frazier being a high flyer, and both of them being very quick. Plus, you've got Johnny Gargano can wrestle that style if he has to. Tommaso Ciampa, a little more of a brawler and booked that way as well, but he can do the quick stuff if he has to. I liked what they were saying on the announce table, that Tommaso Ciampa is really the wild card in all these matches. Because Johnny Gargano is basically the straight man, and Tommaso Ciampa is the joke man, the punchline man. If he's overheated, then the match takes on that kind of vibe and that kind of tenor. If he's very refrained and just hard hitting, the match takes on that kind of vibe. Cool match. Everybody, it's like Tommaso Ciampa keeps getting passed over for the U.S. title open challenge. And so he's angry at the world, as if he needed a reason to be ticked off at everyone. Here's one more reason for Tommaso Ciampa to be mad, but not tonight in this match, as his team gets a win. The tag team division has been very cool for a while on SmackDown. In fact, it's been so cool that can you remember who has the belts, John?
The men's tag team belts are held, I don't know.
Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy.
Oh, wow.
From the Wyatt Six. We haven't seen them in a while.
We haven't seen them in ages. When did they win it? In SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while. They've had we thought they were going to have a decent run with it. We thought that WWE was setting up a just-in-case War Games between the Wyatt Six and Solo Sikoa's faction. They have pivoted, if you want to go here next, unless you had stuff you wanted to call out about this DIY match.
No.
But they've pivoted to a team led by Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa and My Family Tree for a traditional, old-fashioned Survivor Series elimination match on Survivor Series Eve. So look forward to that on SmackDown. We are probably not covering the SmackDown for Black Friday. We are probably looking at some point. I may be unavoidably disposed on Saturday, but I will try to catch a replay of Royal Rumble, and maybe we get a chance either Sunday the 30th or December 1st to recap Survivor Series. But the night before Survivor Series, if you're out there and you're a fan of watching wrestling as it happens, I think that's going to be a cool main event.
Me too.
For the
I
night
saw that
before
was cool.
Survivor Series. A bunch of guys who they couldn't fit on the Survivor Series premium live event, but they're going to have an old-fashioned elimination 5-on-5 match. Sami Zayn, the Motor City Machine Guns, that's Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, and Rey Fenix. So they're having him do something against Solo Sikoa, Talatanga, Tamatanga, Tangaloa, JC Mateo, the MFT's My Family Tree. That looks like it's going to be a cool match.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it just leaves the Wyatt Six with nothing to do. So I feel sorry for the Wyatt Six because I thought they were coming into their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And you have the finger up there, like you have something to say.
It's weird that they didn't even get the backup one because, like, not even the SmackDown
Yep.
Survivor Series, like, because if they're not part of the throwaway team or the throw together team that didn't make it to the War Games.
I thought maybe they didn't think that the Wyatt Six was going to be a clear enough baby face, whereas anybody led by Sami Zayn is clearly going to be a baby face and has clear heat with Solo Sikoa and the rest of the MFTs.
Mm-hmm.
But that looks like it's going to be a good match. Stuff that was teased that we did not get on this show: the Chelsea Green coronation ceremony for her second U.S. title reign.
Mm-hmm.
We did not get anything from Jade Cargill, except backstage when Chelsea Green said she was the best women's champion. Jade Cargill walked over and said something to the effect of, "Excuse me," at which point Chelsea Green just kind of giggled and walked off.
There's your champ.
There's your U.S. champ, everyone.
No, there's your top champ right then and there. She snuck. She laughed once. Okay, that's it. That was your contribution to the. You're the champ. You should be all over the show.
Yeah.
You're the top woman on SmackDown right now. No matter what, you need to be all over the show. That's the rules. Either wrestling or talking.
And
We've
I
seen
think
none of that.
Unfortunately, because of the Who Wants to Lose to John Cena Unless Your Name is Gunther tournament, there's just no room for the women right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So everybody is into these little backstage catfights, and there's really nothing for them to do, which is unfortunate, because I like the move of putting the U.S. belt back on Chelsea Green.
Or
she's the best women's wrestler on the SmackDown side of things.
Or you give what's his name a break, the U.S. title match.
Yeah, right. Don't have Ilya Dragunov, especially since he keeps selling that he keeps injuring his own head and neck every week.
Give him a break, and did he have the longest match too?
Yeah, 15 and a half minutes.
Yeah, so he's wrestling good matches. They're exciting, but yeah. So, anyways, couple comments here. I'm gonna pull them up.
Very good.
No, this is the wrong one. The thing with Raquel Rodriguez, they could push her onto the main title track as a solo now.
Yes, I don't know if we covered this in Cheap Heat months and months ago, where Kevin Nash on his podcast was critical of Raquel Rodriguez and said she's not wrestling like a big wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
She's wrestling too small. And when Raquel Rodriguez heard about that, she was interviewed on somebody else's show. And instead of getting all, ticked off about it, she said, "Oh, well, Kevin Nash would know a thing or two about wrestling as a big man."
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, Raquel Rodriguez has been noticeably wrestling different. And in fact, very recently, Kevin Nash praised her. Wow. He says she looks like a different wrestler right now. So, yes, Raquel Rodriguez, I would not be complaining at all if she got a singles push. She dragged the best match we've ever seen from Ronda Rousey on a random SmackDown in December, the first year we watched.
You stole my line for Raquel Rodriguez.
Right?
She's the only person that ever had a good match with Ronda Rousey. And we were watching so many Ronda Rousey matches. I was like,
yes.
And we were both like, well, this SmackDown's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. Except for Ronda Rousey. Terrible. Yes. And then the second she was out of the company, it was like the women's division skyrocketed.
But Raquel Rodriguez will always have a soft spot in the hearts of Don't Bury the Lead, because she dragged a great one-on-one title match out of Ronda Rousey. I would not be disappointed at all in her getting a push for the singles, especially now that world title, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this version of Raquel Rodriguez, who wrestles as a big wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Not as just a normal size wrestler who happens to be 6 feet tall, but she's wrestling more like a big wrestler, the way she executes moves and also the way she takes moves. We brought it up with Bronson Reed facing Carmelo Hayes. How there are times when Carmelo Hayes would hit something on Bronson Reed and Bronson Reed would just stagger a little bit. And there were other times where after a sequence of stuff, Bronson Reed would actually sell. And there were times when Bronson Reed would no sell because he's the bigger wrestler and it made sense. And times when he would half sell and like he has the full range of how to react to a smaller wrestler. And it seems like Raquel Rodriguez is learning that too. Like as the bigger wrestler, what do you do? It's like the other side of the coin to what we've been praising Io Sky for doing. Like Io Sky sells differently based on the size of the wrestler she's in the ring with.
Right.
She sells Rhea Ripley different than she sells Kairi Sane because she's supposed to. It's like I feel like Chris Rock. You're supposed to do that, you know.
Right. Yeah, so at
Yes,
the
a
end,
good comment. I'm with you. If Raquel Rodriguez, this version of her, yes, I could see her getting a title push.
for
And
me,
it'd be another win for Judgment Day.
especially with the women champions as they are now, I wouldn't mind seeing her win the title.
Especially if she got moved over to SmackDown.
SmackDown or even Raw with what's her face?
Well, Stephanie Vaquera is there, but Raw's loaded at the moment, and they may be getting Bianca Belair back unless they're planning when Bianca Belair, if her finger is healed.
Oh, because you'll have Bianca Belair, you'll have
maybe coming back to make things right with Jade Cargill. But poor Bianca Belair, like she finished that 5-star WrestleMania triple threat match with a finger that was so badly mangled, she's been out for months.
Oh, man. Good for her for gutting out and getting it through the match.
Yes. Yeah, she absolutely gutted it out with a finger that needed treatment as soon as that match was over. So you're wondering where they're planning to bring Bianca Belair back to. If it is SmackDown, SmackDown could use it. And there's a built-in feud with her and Jade Cargill ready to go.
And then here's one more for the fixer before we enter the thumb drive.
About wrestlers being on salary, regardless of whether they hold the top titles or not, makes me think they're phoning it in. Yeah, a lot of wrestlers are on salary. That was a WCW thing from 30 years ago that they started, putting guys on salary. The thing is, not everybody is paid at the same rate. So, if you're mid-level salaried wrestler and you're younger and you know that you need another contract after this one, you're not phoning it in. So Carmelo Hayes is on salary, but he's working hard. JD McDonough's on salary, but he's working hard because when his 3-year deal runs out or whatever it is, he wants another one. Where it may become a problem is guys who are maybe 40 years old, into their 40s, who are on their last contract. They signed a longer deal. There's been a bonus because they've been with the company for so long, and maybe they phone it in. But let's think about the guys who may be on a deal like that. Sheamus isn't mailing it in. When Sheamus is healthy, he goes out there and he does whatever he's asked. Maybe Drew McIntyre's on that. Drew McIntyre, some people could argue, is doing some of the best work of his career. He's not phoning it in. Roman Reigns, we don't see him a lot. Maybe he's on a modified deal since he's doing so many movie stuff. But when Roman Reigns is there, he's not phoning it in. Is CM Punk phoning it in? I don't think so. Gunther got a big upgrade on his deal because he did so well at his first main roster deal. It doesn't look like Gunther's phoning it in. So I don't know how much merit there is to criticism. Like I know guys don't want to do this, but you're going to have to give me a name. You're going to have to tell me who's on salary and you think is not giving it their all. Because the older wrestlers I see that are on the WWE main roster still, I think they're doing it great.
He said Jey Uso's
Jey
on
Uso is on
salary.
salary and is phoning it in. Is Jey Uso phoning it in, or is creative unsure about whether to turn him heel or not? Because that's not Jey Uso's fault. If they keep telling Jey Uso, we're going to turn you, start acting a little heelish. And then they say, oh, but wait, we need for the next 2 months for you to be on the babyface team in War Games.
Yeah.
Is that Jey Uso phoning it in, or is that creative jerking him around?
And there's also this. I don't know that Jey Uso is phoning it in as much as maybe he ain't got it. Although a lot of people on the internet don't like him, but the crowd loves him.
The live crowd loves him.
So,
well, let me put it to you this way: is Jey Uso looking like on matches that he's phoning it in any more than CM Punk is?
wow.
I mean,
No.
CM Punk got that title just because they wanted the clear nostalgia babyface to have it in Seth Rollins' absence.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk it looks like he's keeping it warm for someone. I don't know who.
Yeah, he's not going to be wrestling a lot with it. He can't. He can't actively wrestle a lot, so he won't be wrestling a lot with it.
So I mean, who's phoning it in? Maybe someone is, but I don't see someone not doing it.
Interesting side talk here in the follow, but Dom, and thank you for that, Fixer. That's a good comment.
Yeah.
John,
are you phoning it in?
Am I? Listen, I ain't phoning it in. All right, I don't know who's phoning it in. It ain't me, because it's a thumb drive. Dom,
I checked out years ago.
You've been voting it in for years. Yeah.
I've been phoning it in for years, man.
You don't even watch
the
the
same
shows.
freaking jokes, the same puns, recycling material. I've been phoning it in.
Maybe you could make that argument that I have too. I just made a big joke about dives tonight,
right?
which I think since the first show I've talked about how much I dislike dives.
Yeah. All joking aside, we are not phoning it in. Not only are we not phoning it in, but we're about to condense this entire show that we just watched meticulously and took notes on and invested ourselves into a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. There are no ties. There are also no star ratings, no letter grades, no number grades. You're taking this course pass, fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't do 7 stars at the Tokyo Dome. We don't do 2 stars at the TD Bank Arena in Boston. No. We don't do star ratings. We give it a thumbs up. We give it a thumbs down. We are not Dave Meltzer. Are you ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Dom, why'd you give the show a thumbs up?
Lots of good wrestling, even if some of the stuff I was scratching my head. I'd rather there be good wrestling and me not understand where everything's going with the angles than there to be all this angle work and then I get crappy wrestling or no payoff in the ring. So
Totally.
if I'm going to get one and not the other, I was sports entertained by all the great wrestling I saw on this show.
The tournament is great because it's giving me an opportunity to see all these wrestlers I haven't seen,
right?
Like Penta and Finn Balor and Bronson Reed. And then in addition to that, they just have matches that are good. That's the rule. Go out, have a good match.
Yep.
It's that simple. I don't have to worry about the dumb storylines. I don't need to hear all these promos. No, they just have the match. They have good wrestling on SmackDown. That's all I want from SmackDown. Good wrestling.
Yep.
This reminds me a lot of what AEW does. AEW will have a show. It doesn't really have a lot of storyline to it, but they match up the guys. They know how to match them up. You turn the TV on. It's after their entrances. The bell rings and bang, they're wrestling. You're getting wrestling immediately. There's no entrances. They're after it right away on Dynamite. And the crowd gets way into it because it's not a talking segment. It's a wrestling match right away. And they start chanting AEW, AEW, and the whole crowd's into it. And you're like, wow, this is how all wrestling shows should start. And that's kind of what they did tonight, was just random matches.
Yeah, I don't know. Did any of these guys have a history with each other outside of the shortest match of the night with the Fraxium and DIY, I don't think anybody here really had history.
No.
Penta
No,
Finn Balor, not really.
No, there was no
JD
history.
McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, not in more than a year. Carmelo Hayes and Bronson Reed. These, like you said, these are guys crossing brands.
Guys that are crossing brands don't see each other, like Bronson Reed and Carmelo Hayes. So
Yep.
yeah, I loved it. I thought it was one of the better SmackDowns I've seen in a very long time.
So that was a solid thumbs up for you.
Yeah, this was really
This
I
was
was
not teetering.
I was excited. This is not even close to teetering. I was excited to talk
Good.
about this one. And you had said earlier, will this serve? Oh, will we survive this SmackDown? I was like, oh, I
Yes.
hope Dom didn't like it.
Oh, that's a tease.
It was a tease, but it was a swerve, really.
I had to keep the suspense up.
It was a swerve.
Right? I can't give away the thumb drive in the opener.
Yeah, so for me, way thumbs up, and one of the better SmackDowns I've seen in quite some time.
Very good. Agreed. From a wrestling standpoint, this was awesome. My only quibble was that we didn't get to see any of the great women's wrestling. But since I've been complaining about how poorly booked the SmackDown women's wrestling has been, maybe that was better.
Yeah, right. All right, so Dom, it's Cheap Heat.
It is.
Cheap Heat is a segment where we talk about WWE, AEW, and beyond, other wrestling. Really what we do is we talk about trending topics, and we use these trending topics to make smaller videos. These smaller videos we put on our YouTube channel. If you're watching us right now on Twitch, come on over to the YouTube side. That's where we have all of our content. And really, we're beyond to the point where we're beyond monetization. We have over 1,000 subscribers, over 4,000 watch hours, and we're starting to get a little bit of money here and there off these videos. And it's been all thanks to Dom and myself kind of creating this together, and it's been a fun ride. But Cheap Heat's our big show because this is what we make our money on. So without further ado, Dom, what's our first story?
Monday Night Raw. John Cena's final Monday Night Raw was in Madison Square Garden. A few interesting people were there. First up, Shane McMahon attended WWE Raw. He wasn't featured on the broadcast, but he was there, and apparently he was welcomed. He was welcomed backstage. This comes to us from Wrestling Inc. He was there. After the show went off the air, McMahon took to social media to pay tribute to John Cena, said he was pleased to be back at the Garden. Let's see if we can bring up just his tweet here. He was at the event with his son Rogan. Backstage video saw him interacting with the New Day behind the scenes. He was briefly seen in a crowd shot at Cena's entrance, but they didn't make a big deal like, oh, that's Shane McMahon.
Wow.
With all the talk of WWE trying to distance themselves from Vince McMahon creatively, they're trying to rename all of the premium live events that are not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or Survivor Series, SummerSlam. They're trying to distance themselves from Vince McMahon era names, like they're doing WrestlePalooza now. Like, where did WrestlePalooza come from? Well, it's something new. It's a new name that you can't trace back there. They're trying to distance themselves with Vince McMahon. Shane McMahon kind of distanced himself from Vince years ago.
Right.
Does this mean that Shane O'Mac has a place in TKO on the WWE side? We haven't seen much of him. He came back for a WrestleMania where he leapfrogged The Miz, tore both quads, and Snoop Dogg had to, do a little song and dance there to save the segment while poor Shane O'Mac was attended to medically. I don't mean to say that he's got to be back or whatever, but, for a guy who he's sort of became the black sheep of the family.
Yeah. Which
he's the guy you don't hear about. You hear about Linda, you hear about Stephanie, you hear about Paul Levesque, who married into the family. You don't hear a lot about Shane. So Shane was at Madison Square Garden trying to keep a low profile, but of course, people found out he was there and it became a big story. Who else was there but Cam Scatterbo from the New York Giants, who had a very bad ankle injury recently? He was there while rehabbing his football injury. He's in the front row and he's getting into a scuffle with members of Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Some people did not like it and were like, I know it's scripted, but and I know they're trying to take care of each other, but what if something had happened to him during this scuffle when he's in the front row there that cost him his recovery in his job? And to that, Cam Scatterbo responds, I honestly, if you don't like that I'm having a good time while dealing with a tough time, meaning his injury, then just go ahead and follow and casually move on. I'm not able to play football and have the fun I've been having my whole life, so I'm doing things outside of the box, trying to find stuff to keep me happy. Enjoy the rest of y'all's week, and just don't talk about me if you ain't got nothing nice to say. Okie dokie.
To that, I say Cam Scatterbo, as a person that has a YouTube channel that has read some of the worst comments on the planet about myself, yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying when lots of people talk about you when you're trying to do your thing. And why don't you move on? Why don't you, if you don't want to like talk about me in a light, that you're like, oh, hey, to be supportive to me, and you want to just drag me down in the comments, screw you. Just move on. You're just a commenter.
The point may be that a lot of these professional sports contracts include clauses about you're not supposed to do dangerous stuff outside of your sport.
Mhm.
Years ago, Jeff Kent, a baseball player, borderline Hall of Famer at some point, he was injured in the off season, and they were trying to keep quiet that he was injured, I think, in an ATV accident.
Oh, wow. There was also Ben Roethlisberger got into a motorcycle accident, and he had a bad concussion and was out for several games because of that.
Yes. And if you are injured at your job playing football, playing baseball, playing basketball, hockey, soccer, whatever, and you are on rehab, they want you to be extra careful about doing other things. Like they keep you out of practice.
Yeah.
They keep you out of even the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're there with a personal trainer, someone from medical, from the team.
To rehab,
I understand, if the New York Giants have millions and millions of dollars invested in Cam Scatterbo, who they're now paying to rehab his injury, and they see him on TV getting into shoving matches with, 3 sweaty guys in their underwear. What's happening here? It's like you were on crutches a week ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm. This happened a while ago too with Rob Gronkowski, but it was a little worse. He was like at a party and he was like dancing on the dance floor with his crutches, and like they're on the club, Rob Gronkowski, like a big party boy, and he's like drinking beer, and then he slips and falls, and like he's like, he was fine, but he's like drunk as hell and fell over while he was dancing, and they're like, "What are you doing? Don't hurt yourself further."
Yes, do not make your injury worse, and make it so that your recovery takes even longer. This turned out okay. People protected each other. No freak accidents happened, but accidents, can happen every now and then. So I kind of understand everybody's side here. This may be a little bit of, Cam Scatterbo being young and feeling like he's invincible, even though he has a terrible ankle injury.
Yeah, I feel like he should no longer feel invincible. I know he did at one point, because he was really notorious for just leading with his helmet and like playing very aggressively, and like his helmet's all cut up and banged up and scratched up because he was headbutting people like lockers and stuff like that, just being a nut. So
he's Ilya Dragunov.
He's Ilya Dragunov. He is.
Everybody he sees, he just lunges toward them head first. That's Cam Scatterbo saying hello.
Mm-hmm.
He does the torpedo thing.
Because when he was playing, I remember someone saying like, "Yeah, he's not going to last long in the league," and he got hurt like right away.
It may help him. Who knows? Getting involved in wrestling matches probably wasn't part of the rehab component of the rookie's recovery, but it's unclear whether the Giants will weigh in on what happened. They will probably be very quiet about it. They don't want the Giants probably don't want to encourage this, but at the same time, you know, they're having such an awful season. This gave them some good press.
Right.
And the fact that Cam Scadaboo was in Madison Square Garden and wasn't getting booed vociferously because the team's 2-9.
Right.
You know, it's not his fault. He was awesome in the 2 games that they actually won.
Yeah. That's funny. Related story. I went to SmackDown, and Paul George, who plays for the Sixers, was at the game, and he was booed heavily because the Sixers were the Sixers were terrible, and Paul George has a max contract. So they just signed him, and he has a max contract, and he played horrible last season.
Yeah.
And then eventually he just I don't even know if he's hurt or what the deal is, but yeah. So
perhaps that's who CM Punk was talking about.
The person that was dogging it, or not dogging
guys on big salaries who may be phoning it in.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't wrestlers. It was guys in other industries. There you go. So thank you. This came to us from USA Today. Up next, Stephen A. Smith sparks controversy with his pick for the #1 wrestler ever. His #1 pick is top 5 wrestlers. He had Dominic Mysterio as a guest on ESPN's First Take. Stephen A. Smith was asked, not who are the 5 best wrestlers, who are your 5 favorite. I think that's why people are misinterpreting this. His #1 wrestler was Goldberg. And he defended it by saying, look, I love the pyro. I love the entrance. He was entertaining and he had a great run. So it was Goldberg, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and the Road Warriors. If you're a fan, that's not a bad 5.
No.
He wasn't trying to say these are the best wrestlers ever. Although, you know, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan could be there. The Rock could be there as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was just saying guys he was entertained by. So I think that became the big story because people recently like crapping on Stephen A. Smith for some reason. Like he's the biggest dog at ESPN, so he's the guy with the bullseye on the back.
Yeah.
I think the much bigger story here, see if you agree with me. Tell me in the comments, tell me in the live chat, do you agree with me here? The biggest story here, by far, is that Dominic Mysterio was by himself on ESPN's First Take.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah.
They sent Roman Reigns out there with Paul Heyman. They sent Seth Rollins to do some minor shows for ESPN and NFL Network. Dominic Mysterio on ESPN just by himself trying to stay kind of in character.
They're prepping him, aren't they? They're prepping him.
They're prepping him.
When it's almost not like if, but when will the push happen?
He has world title skills behind the scenes and demeanor and understanding of the business. I just need to see a little better look from the guy. He doesn't have to be Rick Boogs, but he's got to be his stablemate Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see Finn Balor kind of definition and look.
He almost needs
Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, not giants. Shawn Michaels. I got to see something like that out of him. He can't look like an indie wrestler. I've got to see something that screams top guy at the #1 wrestling promotion in the world, not something that screams, I just jumped off the roof of some guy's shed onto a sheet of plywood that was suspended between 2 horses.
That's perfect.
Because now, that's what his look screams to me.
His physical body looks like he's an indie wrestler. Correct.
Yes.
He needs to either take time off, like find a way to take some time off and really go crazy in the gym and come back in like 6 to 8 months. And you're working out 5 days a week. You're really into it. Talk to Rhea, see what she does, you know, and do Rhea's workout. And then come back and be like, oh yeah, this guy's he's big now. He looks like he put on like 20 pounds of muscle. And then there's your champ.
Rhea's got broader shoulders than him. So
She got broader shoulders than a lot of men. So
like Rhea is built. Rhea has an athletic build. Like she is 100% athlete. Like feminine looking, but athletic feminine looking.
Feminine looking, but she's huge. Yeah.
Yes.
She's what my friend would call a muscle mommy.
Sure. Like
Also,
Dominic Mysterio could even do it without taking time off because he wears like the baggy pants and the baggy shirt.
right.
He could just work out and one day, like, you know, everybody in Judgment Day turns on him or something. Where everybody turns on him, they rip off his shirt. It's like, you're not in Judgment Day anyway. They rip off his shirt, and it's like, oh, he's got a little bit of definition. He worked on the deltoids. He worked on the pecs. He worked on the lats. He looks good. And then he just starts coming out again. He's like, look, if nobody wants me, I'm not wearing anybody's shirt anymore.
You know, I do wonder what he does to work out. And if it's just not working out because he's a heel and he's supposed to be a chicken crap heel. Yeah, he's 28 years old, so I think it's probably about time for him to get moving.
This is his athletic prime. I mean, unless he's going to go foreign substance route. This is the time. At this point at 28, he's never going to have. If he doesn't have the frame by now, he's not going to have it. So he has to look at what he has to work with.
He could be like,
find a really good Cody. Trainer and just give me something.
He could look like Cody, right? Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes is a monster.
Seth, Shawn Michaels, Finn Balor. He's not going to look like LA Knight.
No. LA Knight's a monster. He's not
going to look like Roman Reigns. He's not going to be Rick Boogs. But, you know, like Randy Orton put on muscle over his career. Drew McIntyre was a string bean when he started.
Yeah. Talk to Drew. He's probably the best one.
He put on muscle. He's not a short guy, so he could use some extra muscle on his frame. Got
this great comment from the Fixer. One day, everyone in Judgment Day will turn on Dom.
There you go. And that would be the perfect sell if he's got, that would be the perfect reveal for his new look and his new persona.
And out of
Dirty Dom Mysterio against the world.
Out of character, Dom is one of the nicest people at WWE. Believable, because he was a very nice guy before he turned into Dirty Dom. But he's so perfect as Dirty Dom.
He was so nice on Logan Paul's podcast, too.
Until he
like
buried
asking him if he'd be on the Japan trip with them.
Right.
Like, what a kind thing to do. It's like, yeah, I'm going to Japan. Are you coming with us? Are you allowed to go to Japan?
Are you allowed?
At the time, I think we said, that's our #1 video of all time. If you want to go to our channel on YouTube, check out that one. Dominic Mysterio on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive. Dominic Mysterio was the first person to ever turn heel on a heel while being a heel in a way that made all of the babyface fans cheer.
Dom, someone commented that today, like a couple days ago. They said, yeah, it's a heel topping the heel. Because that's what he's like, the heel topped the heel. Another person commented and said, I watch this video at least once a month. And I was like, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Right? Thank you very much.
Like, you're having a bad day and you're like, I want to hear Dom Mysterio make fun of Logan Paul. Who wouldn't?
Without looking like he's making fun of him.
Right.
So that's my big takeaway from this. Not that Stephen A. Smith likes Bill Goldberg. Lots of people like Bill Goldberg. It's that Dominic Mysterio is being groomed as, he's a crossover star at this point. And he did it with the trailer park mullet and the porn stash.
Right.
Like, they didn't change his look at all. It's brilliant. Up next, we've got from SI.com, Let's Talk Business, a major update on TNA's new media rights deal. TNA has been actively shopping its American media rights throughout 2025. They think maybe AMC Currently, TNA's programming airs on AXS TV and the TNN Plus app, though AXS TV is owned by the promotion's parent company, Anthem Sports and Entertainment. As a result, it's not been generating the money it otherwise if it were licensed to someone else. TNA President Carlos Silva, hey there, has been shopping TNA's media rights. He's trying to value it at somewhere between $7 and $10 million annually. It's not clear at this time if anyone else thinks it's worth that. TNA, they're wondering, would they have to go to a WWE friendly network? Would they go head to head with AEW? What would happen with them? One thing at a time, AMC may have emerged as a potential landing spot. AMC, not known for its wrestling programming.
Yeah.
But then again, neither was TNN until they started. Neither was Spike TV, which is what TNN became until they started. There's a first time for everything. AMC does a lot of original programming. Let's see if they tell us here. ANC is in approximately double the homes that AXS TV is in. AMC falls under AMC Network's umbrella, majority owned by James Dolan family. They are of the New York Knicks and Madison Square Garden and the New York Rangers. Other assets include BBC America, IFC, International Film Channel, Sundance TV, and We TV. AMC has had other programs. Do you know of anything that was on AMC? Did they have some big old hits? I'm not into the TV too. What did they have? Do you know?
Really big TV shows from about a decade ago. Breaking Bad, Better Call
They had
Saul.
Breaking Bad. Okay.
Better Call Saul. Those were their two really big ones. They would have these series that were similar to that did pretty well. They also they do like documentaries, or they do these side WWE shows. So basically, like, they do this show where they look up, like, they try to find Undertaker's hat, and they go to the place where, like, where you can find, like, Undertaker's hat, and like they go to this place and they find the hat, and the guy talks about how he got it, how he can get it, and then how he can get it, buy it from him, stuff like that. And then, like,
that's cool stuff. So it's like it's tangential to the wrestling product.
It is, and they do documentaries too. They apparently have done a couple really good documentaries on wrestlers. They are quite favorable, depending on if they are alive or if they are dead. If they are alive,
Okay.
they are very, very nice. If they're dead, they bury the person. So as these documentaries, happened, this is how the documentaries work.
We have covered TNA recently when Chris Jericho on his podcast with the Dudleys and the Hardys was talking about how impressed he was with Bounds for Glory, where the Dudleys had their retirement match.
Yeah.
So check that out from last week's live stream during the Cheap Heat segment. This is TNA President Carlos Silva here. He's leading the charge on rights negotiations. There was a big shakeup behind the scenes, and it was basically to give Carlos Silva more power. I don't know much about him, but if he's the guy who's supposed to be negotiating deals and he winds up doing it, then that kind of justifies the shakeup.
Oh, another great comment here. To be honest, Netflix wasn't known for wrestling till the beginning of this year. So
absolutely great point, Fixer.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. Hopefully, it'd be nice. It's weird. WWE doesn't necessarily own TNA, but do they? Or they just have a very good relationship with them?
My little brother would really like a new TV deal.
Right.
Can you help out my little brother?
That could be enough to help them out. Be like, oh, hey, yeah, they're good. Hey, we're in the wrestling business. We know that they're good under programming for you guys, and they'll be cheap.
Yep. Yeah, it can't hurt to have some sort of rub from the WWE when you're trying to negotiate a new TV rights deal. So,
And if they do that,
hey, what's up?
would it be $7 to $10 million a year? That's what they're shooting for?
That's what they're shooting for. Carlos Silva estimated, he and Creative Arts Agency estimated the average annual value for TNA's rights to be somewhere between $7 and $10 million. He told the Takedown on Sports Illustrated this summer.
That seems pretty cheap, right? I mean, for as far as wrestling goes, it seems like a bargain.
It does, but $7 to $10 million could pay a lot of TNA salaries.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would be good for TNA too. I'm surprised they're afloat if they don't have a TV deal they have a TV deal that's at like probably $3 million, right?
I don't know. I mean, the TV they're on right now is owned by their parent company. So unless they're just shifting things between budget lines within the corporation,
yeah,
they're not really, they really don't know what their TV's valued out because at this point they kind of self-own.
yeah, that's a good point.
So it's like WWE running everything through the WWE network.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they didn't really know what they were worth until they found, you don't know what you have is worth until you find someone else willing to pay for it.
Sure. When it goes to the market and someone pays for it, that's what it's worth, right?
Yes. Right? That's how you find out.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with TNA. Wish them all the best. And thank you to John Alba at SI.com for this report. Back over to Wrestling Inc. We talk about sometimes good news here for wrestlers. Sami Zayn commented on the marriage announcement of his former WrestleMania opponent. Do you know who it was? It was Johnny Knoxville.
No.
And he says he's getting married to director Emily Ting. And Sami Zayn writes, I've met Emily and can confidently say she is 10,000 times too good for this chump. Sami Zayn is a national treasure.
And Sami Zayn got pinned by Johnny Knoxville.
Yes.
I believe, if I remember this correctly, too, Johnny Knoxville was holding him down with an oversized mousetrap and then pinned him.
And within a year, Sami Zayn is revitalizing not only his own career, but the entire bloodline. And then main eventing WrestleMania and winning the World Tag Team Championship. So,
yeah,
Sami Zayn, a national treasure. He has not regretted the Johnny Knoxville match at all. He says it was one of his favorite things to do.
Wow, what a guy!
Right?
He might be lying.
It was if he does, he's putting over Johnny Knoxville constantly. Like he has talked highly about his experience doing that match.
Maybe he just loved Jackass and wanted to do it. Maybe he's like such a Johnny Knoxville like super fan that he loved it. Or
is he, like you said, is he lying about liking that match and now he's being totally honest, just ripping Johnny Knoxville's marriage announcement?
Who knows, Tom? Who knows?
This chump got engaged? She is 10,000 times too good for this chump. But Zayn's saying he's not sure their rivalry will ever end.
Well, that's good. I like that.
That's what social media is for. Despite Becky Lynch's attempts to broker peace between them. How bad does your relationship have to be if Becky Lynch is trying to broker peace? They continued to argue before Wee Man, a member of Knoxville's group, slammed Zayn once again. This was the building up to the Anything Goes match, which Zayn has called one of his favorite matches of his career. So, yes, this is good out of wrestling stuff. Sami Zayn knows where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Other people doing stuff outside of the wrestling ring. CM Punk is in the movie Night Patrol. They just put out a trailer for it. And you can see CM Punk in a few spots here. He's in this shot right here. He's also a little later in a car. And the big thing is he's mentioned in the credits at the end. But it's as, let's see here, it's as Phil Brooks. With Phil Brooks. So he is taking Hollywood bookings using his real name.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's not using CM Punk, which is interesting. So good for him. He's also going to be in an animated, I think he's in Zootopia 2 coming out, or whatever the latest iteration of the Zootopia franchise is. But this is a big old drama. It appears to be kind of a vampire-ish drama.
It's a vampire drama. Is he a cop?
He's a cop, and apparently there's vampires involved.
Ah, okay.
There you go. It's kind of a horror movie. Ish.
Okay. Yes, a horror-ish movie. Gotcha.
Just in time to miss Halloween and just in time for Valentine's Day.
So this is a B movie he's in.
I don't know. This may be like an intercontinental title instead of a world title. I'm not sure. But yes, he is billed as Phil Brooks. Other people who are in this, Dermot Mulroney. I don't know if anybody recognizes some of the names here. Jermaine Fowler, Justin Long. But good for Phil Brooks getting out there and doing some stuff. This comes to us from WrestleZone. We covered last week Lex Luger and Mick Foley trying to get their health together after some very serious diseases and conditions that they've been working their way through. This comes to us from WrestleZone. AEW star Rebel, for about a year, she thought she had cryptococcal pneumonia. Turns out she kept getting misdiagnosed. They now think it's lung cancer.
Oh.
After a year of not getting better, I decided to go to the Mayo Clinic, see if I could get treated by them. They found out it's not cryptococcal pneumonia this whole time, that it is primary pulmonary lymphoma, which is cancer in the lungs. She starts rehab. Also revealed she had picked up another neurological disorder, which took away her ability to walk, speak clearly, and caused her to lose some function in her right hand. She has a long road back. This is one of those things where life gets in the way of pro wrestling, and you're just hoping that she can get the life back on order. She took to X to address people for it. Health update, asking for your prayers and support. I hope to keep you updated on my rehab journey.
You can play this.
Mick Foley and Lex Luger were in a bad place as well. Lex Luger was wheelchair bound for years. He's overcoming it as well. But you could see she looks quite different from her wrestling days.
Oh, that's
which
terrible.
You would expect. Someone who's not, decked out in the makeup and the costume and everything. And just trying to update people who've obviously been asking what's up with her, how's she doing? So all best to Rebel. And
what's her
hoping
name?
that she can recover.
Rebel Tania?
Roman Reigns, Joe Anoa'i.
Yeah.
He battled leukemia and has talked about it openly. He seems to have battled it and recovered and got back to wrestling. So there is hope for people who do have illnesses they're battling. So all best for her to see if she can do it. Some of what was hit here to address the cancer that I have, lymphoma. I have a very serious infection. I'm on IV antibiotics, and I have to clear this infection first before I can address the cancer. Once that's finished, hopefully in December, I will go for a third bronchoscopy, the lungs and the respiratory apparatus there, to determine what kind of treatment we are having, whether it's chemo, radiation, immunology, and then we'll start there. And then we'll kick its ass. So I'm hoping that will start around the 1st of 2026. Wrestling stars like Bayley, Jordan Grace, Lexus King, Will Ospreay, Meechin, and Bully Ray have all commented on their post to offer Rebel some words of encouragement and support. So it's tough on her, but she put this out herself. Being vulnerable. We wish her all the best. There is hope. Pro wrestlers have come back from serious things before, so hopefully she can add her name to that list of people who've recovered. So all best to Rebel as she battles what appears to be cancer. And thank you, WrestleZone, for some of the transcription there.
Well, good luck to her. Yeah, thoughts for sure.
Do you remember any of her work in AEW?
I'm trying to remember. I'd have to really see what she looked like in AEW because she looks so much different in that photo.
Yes, here's the sort of a shot of her in her wrestling days.
Yeah,
Is the
in
lead shot
AEW.
there. She
She
was
looks
the
completely
personal
different.
assistant to former AEW Women's World Champion Britt
Oh,
Baker.
she was good.
I don't know if she had maybe Ring of Honor stuff as well, which is kind of their developmental, but she did have something to do there. So, and you just said now that you see her as she looked as a wrestler, that you remember her doing well at her job.
I do remember that. I didn't realize she was that old. She's 47. I thought she was younger.
So she's maybe not going to get back in the wrestling ring at this age, even after she recovers. But, there's perhaps a long life to be lived, even if you can't get back in the squared circle.
She's still signed with AEW, though. She dislocated her knee in 2021. So she must have had like a bunch of pneumonia and physical problems, and then she couldn't wrestle. And now she's got this. But I believe, based off her contract, I think Tony will probably do the right thing and pay her,
Very good by Tony Khan then.
I would think. Seeing how Tony is, I highly think that he would take care of her. So, but yeah.
Then very good and kudos to Tony Khan for that. So excellent work there. And last but certainly not least, it's Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's emotional message to fans of everything on the menu, his new food show, where he eats a lot because he's Braun Strowman and he can do that.
I've seen the commercials. It looks like a funny show.
It looks like a good show. They're airing it sometimes after SmackDown on USA Network. And he talked about the fact that, holy cow, everything on the menu drew its highest rating last week. 580,000. It picked up 146,000 viewers from the week before. This was towards the end of October. So when the ratings started coming in, it was the second most popular show on USA Network, behind only SmackDown in the ratings.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be emotional. This hasn't been easy, losing my job, meaning wrestling. He had some physical conditions, and he was valiantly working through them his last months there as a wrestler. Hasn't been easy losing my job, my career, and stuff like that, and wondering where and how I was going to figure out and what was going to happen next in life. I'm humbly blessed by how amazing the response has been for this show. Strowman recently told Going Ringside that he hasn't walked away from wrestling for good, but is taking an extended break to let his body recover from the wear and tear of the ring. And as he lets his body recover from the wear and tear of the ring, he is absolutely pummeling his gastrointestinal system with who knows what from who knows where.
So
he travels around America stuffing his face.
I've seen some of the episodes because they bleed into right after SmackDown, and I've seen some of them, and it talks about how he was. I don't know if he was actively wrestling during this and doing the show at the same time. He might have been.
Maybe some of the early tapings, yeah.
Yeah, maybe like some of the earlier episodes. But it would be cool if he gets another shot and he keeps making the show. It's probably way easier to just eat a bunch of food than, your body's falling apart and you want to keep trying wrestling. Just
Right?
hang out and eat food and be a big man that eats food.
Yeah, there you go. It's like there's Braun Strowman just chowing down in a booth somewhere, just eating a 12-egg omelet with an extra tumbler of gravy. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm rehabbing. Leave me alone. Good for him if he's enjoying life and it's not harming him, because sometimes eating way too much food can do that. But hey, if he's got the metabolism and there's some place to put it, good for you, Braun Strowman. Kind of a good story there. Real name Adam Scher. Real life. What do I do after wrestling? I eat lots of food. Excellent work. John, that's what I got for you this week. Do you have anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about? Anybody catching the live stream out? Did we miss anything? Tell us in the chat if you're watching on the archive. Tell us in the comment. But hey, if there's nothing else to yap about, it's pathologically frugal. It's unseasonably warm. It is what?
It's cheap heat. All right. And that's going to take us into the Italian goodbye. This is late for me.
This is late. I already did an Italian goodbye already, so I'm good if we don't do one. It was after Mass today, and I'm talking to a guy, and would you believe it? He's Italian. And I swear to you, we tried to say goodbye 3 times.
I want to hear about the Italian goodbye while I clean up here.
There you go. So, it was, I remembered him because he was responsible for bringing his granddaughters back to church the previous year. And so they were getting back into it. And, as we were witnessing 3 other adults at Mass tonight, also received their sacraments for the first time. At the end of Mass, I walked over to him. I said, hello, kind of makes you remember your granddaughters and you bringing them back now that they're teenagers. He said, oh, yeah, my heart went out to them. And eventually we're talking about, they had a trip to Italy. And could you imagine the food over there? We took the trip to Italy with everyone. And the food is amazing. And And, we were going to say goodbye. And then it's something else. And, and, I wasn't in a hurry. He might have been. I don't know. But, so I've already Italian goodbye once. It was very enjoyable. I'm not being a racist. I'm Italian. He's Italian. So I knew going into it what was probably going to happen. I was not at all surprised when after 2 handshakes and a wave, we were still talking.
I must have some Italian floating around in me because I have a tendency to Italian goodbye. It is something that it's culturally with me and my family as well.
Right? It may have migrated to other parts of Europe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It may be like the Spanish flu. Like that's where people first saw it, so they called it that. But it's not like only the people from Spain get a cough every now and then.
But it is the Italian goodbye.
It is the Italian. There you go.
If you're going to an Italian event, you're getting an Italian goodbye.
Yes.
So yeah,
if you're going to Spain, you're getting a runny nose.
I wanted to see. I had the chat up and Fixer just sent a chat. So I am going to start to do some things to get ready, and I'll pop in and out. So you do your thing.
CM Punk, I can see this even if it's not up on the screen. I don't know if you want to leave it there for now. But I can see the chat even if it's not on our screen for all the viewers. There we go. And you can put it the other way. I will read them off in order.
It might be better because then the chats are just there so the viewers can see them.
Okay. Let's see here. Where did we leave off on? CM Punk has been writing Spider-Man comics for a while too from the Fixer. I did not know that, but it makes sense. The guy's a talented guy. seems like a very bright guy, so I could see him being creative that way. I don't know if he's just writing the dialogue and the story or if he's actually drawing, if he has that illustrator's ability as well. But not surprised to see a guy that well spoken and who obviously understands storytelling as a performer if he's into that. A cool little nugget of trivia. Very good. Let's see here. The drama between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, saying they don't trust each other. I'm betting they'll do a lot of double teams in their War Games match. Right? As soon as they set up that these two don't trust each other, they have to be the best of friends during the match. Women's War Games, I am not surprised that they found a way to get Io Sky into it. She has wrestled more women's War Games matches than anyone. And for good reason, because somebody has to jump off the top of the cage, as well as doing everything else that Io Sky does during a match. So Charlotte Flair being in it is, she was in last year's, I believe, and now she's in it again. Last year, I believe she tied her father in War Games victories, being on her first victorious team. So she may be able to pass Ric Flair this year. I don't know. Maybe she will win, be on the winning team there. Looks like it's going to be a fun War Games match on the women's side. Also on the men's side, they do a good job of building to War Games. And we remark every year when end of October shows up that, my goodness, it's going to be full speed ahead, and they're going to have to rush to get a War Games storyline going and rivalries going and make the teams. And each year they've just about done it right under the wire. I may be mixing metaphors there, but just in time. Women's face team will win, and maybe the heel men's team will win. If they're finally going to turn Jey Uso, then this would be a great time to do it by having somebody screw up on the War Games match. CM Punk and Roman Reigns have had some heat with each other. So they've been teasing actually more hate on the babyface side of men's War Games than they have with Rhea and Charlotte. Because with all the stuff between Rhea and Charlotte, that was 2.5 years ago. The men's stuff is much more recent. Jey Uso versus CM Punk. CM Punk and Roman Reigns. This is much more recent. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Jimmy and Jay not always being on the same page. So all of the men's stuff is much more recent. I would not be surprised if they finally throw a bone to the heel team and they win. Asterix for Bloodline beating the Brawlin' Brutes plus Kevin Owens plus Drew McIntyre back in 2022. Because the Bloodline were getting cheered like tweeners at the moment. So that was almost a baby face team. I want Cody to turn heel now. He's been acting more and more heelish, and he's starting to look like a heel too. Maybe. Cody Rhodes, every time we say, is Cody going to turn heel? Should Cody turn heel? He pulls another babyface run out of the hat. And he does it well. And I think part of it is because he keeps getting matched up with heels who are his equal in talent. Drew McIntyre has been an excellent foil. Absolutely excellent as Cody Rhodes' foil here. So if that has a little more, I would not be surprised if that goes. If they turn Cody heel, there has to be a reason for it. It has to make sense.
Is there a better foil, a better heel in the company than Drew McIntyre?
Not at the moment, because Drew is acting like a heel. It's funny. He's not doing the tweener stuff. He's not trying to get people to cheer him. He knows what he's supposed to be, and he's doing his best with it. Yeah, he's been great. If Cody turns heel, there has to be a reason. So before you say I want Cody to turn heel, I mean, you could say it obviously, but can you elaborate and tell us why you think why would Cody Rhodes turn heel? The crowd isn't against him. He still has the belt. The backstage guys haven't turned on him. Like, why would they do? Yes, the thing that we threw out months ago. Was it Cody who attacked Jacob Fatu? Like, maybe that's the trigger. Jacob Fatu comes back and they take a page from the Naomi playbook, where it turns out that it wasn't Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez who attacked Jade Cargill. It was Naomi. Yes, that's a great call out, Fixer. It's something we discussed a couple of months ago on the show. You may have participated in the discussion then, but that would be a reason that Cody was scared of Jacob Fatu. And then it comes out that they have some grainy footage, and it was Cody Rhodes trying to make sure that Drew McIntyre was the number one contender because he knows he can beat Drew. He doesn't know if he can beat Jacob Fatu. So that could be your reason. But we need Jacob Fatu back and healthy for that to happen. And we do need to see the breadcrumbs that would lead to that. But that would be maybe a good reason. Because Jacob Fatu is also a guy who's over with the crowd. And he's over as a babyface. In fact, he's so over as a babyface that they could not keep him heel in Solo Sikoa's faction. So they did the right thing and broke him off from the faction and let him go. And he's been getting cheered. So yes, that would be acceptable booking, and I think everybody involved in that would play it well. I'm with that. I'm with that there. Very good. Jacob should be back by Royal Rumble. Would it be something if Jacob Fatu is the surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, wins it, and then announces on the following SmackDown that he wants Cody Rhodes because he has some payback to deliver? And then that's your road to WrestleMania. Is it turning up that Cody Rhodes was the villain all along? That's a possibility. I'm on board for that if everybody executes well. And if Cody really starts doing heel things to play into the heel character. John Cena turned heel during his nostalgia run. But that's because 3 reasons. Number 1, Cena did an excellent job with it. Number 2, he had some help, even though the help took off early and wound up making the heel run a dud, even though the heel turn was brilliant. And number 3, he did have a history of being a tweener and holding on too long maybe to the babyface, and some people wanting him to have a heel run. So there were 3 reasons, 1 being history and 2 being real-time execution, why his heel turn worked. I need to see those 3 things from Cody Rhodes. I need to see something in his past that would be a reason why he would turn heel, and maybe the Jacob Fatu thing is enough. Maybe there has to be something else. And then I need to see 2 other things. I need to see Cody be 100% on the heel turn like Cena was. And we need the other people involved to help him if possible. So I need to see those 3 things. If Cody's going to turn heel, he has to be all in on it. He has to get help from the other people involved. And there has to be something, some bit of logical reason as to why he's doing it. It can't just be Swerve for the sake of Swerve. You can do that in the lower card to try and get some heat or some pop on a guy. You cannot do it at the top of your card with a guy who has a belt. If a guy who's already getting a push turns, I got to see those three things. Those are my three. There you go. I'm thinking Drew didn't attack Jacob Fatu. I've been saying it too. I've been there with you. I've been saying it too. Yeah, if Drew attacked Jacob, why would he own up to it? He's the heel. That's what they do. Yet Drew McIntyre has been playing such a brilliant heel with his attitude, even though he's been telling the truth a lot. He's been telling the truth about corporate Cody. Maybe he was also telling the truth about not attacking Jacob Fatu. It would be in character for Drew McIntyre, frankly. So yeah, those are the three things. Tell me in the comments, tell me in the chat, am I expecting too much from a heel turn by saying I need to see those three things? Are you okay with a heel turn that only has two of those, or only one of them, or none of them? But I'll go through them again. If I see a heel turn from a very over babyface, it needs to have three things. It needs to have three ingredients. One, I need a logical reason why it happened. Not something that you invent in the moment, but something that people who've been watching the show can say, ah, that's why. You put so much effort into building angles and histories for guys. Use them. Use those histories. Drop us a breadcrumb. So number one, I need there to be a logical reason from the guy's history why he did it. Number two, I need the guy turning to be all in on it and not half sell it. He can't be a reluctant turn. He's got to be all in. And number three, he needs help selling the turn from the other people involved. Hulk Hogan had that when he made the NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Hogan pointed to the fact that the crowd wasn't behind him like they used to be. They were starting to boo. They were starting not to appreciate him. And of course, Hogan had the connections to the other company and bringing in the guys. Number two, Hogan sold it 100%. And number three, he had plenty of help from Kevin Nash, from Scott Hall, from Eric Bischoff eventually, from everybody else, and from the guys on the other side selling what a jerk Hogan turned out to be. So yes, the greatest heel turn in history had those three things. It had something you could point to in the guy's history that made it logical. Sound logic for why it would happen. It had the guy being all in on it, and it had help from everybody else, or at least the main players involved in the angle. I need to see that from Cody Rhodes if he's going to turn heel. John Cena had it. John Cena had those three things for his heel turn. The problem was people started dropping the ball after the turn. It seems to have worked out for the best because now Cena gets to retire as the babyface. But I thought the Cena heel turn was expertly done, and it had those three ingredients. Who else could have attacked him? Jay, Jimmy, if it wasn't Drew, yeah, who could it have been? It could have been Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu has a history with a lot of people. But yes, if they're going to turn Cody Rhodes, that could be the thing that does it. Could be the thing that does it. There you go. That's kind of my rule for fantasy booking. Is I don't say what could happen unless what could happen has a clear, demonstrable connection to something that already has happened. I think Swerve for the sake of Swerve is lazy booking, as someone else on the internet would say. I think Swerve Just because you don't have anything else to do is lazy booking. And yes, I know we've seen that before. It's lazy booking. Swerve when you make it based on something that's already happened and that people could easily just remember and say, oh yeah, I've been watching WWE for years now. I remember that. That's what makes the shows even more fun. It makes you, tell me in the comments, tell me in the chat. Does it make you as a viewer more satisfied with the product when current angles reference stuff that you remember? Does it kind of validate the fact that you've been paying attention for a while? I think it does. And I think when they book that way, it's a great reward for the longtime fans. It's saying we appreciate the people who've been watching and paying attention and remembering things. So I think that's the best for everybody when you build on stuff that's already happened. If I'm going to fantasy book, I'm not going to say, wouldn't it be great if blank happened, unless it logically connects to something that already has happened. That includes any babyface turns or heel turns. Heels would say they did it though. Yeah, they may be bragging about it. Yeah. None of them have owned up to it. So I'm thinking it has to be a babyface who's turning heel. Yep. That was the Naomi heel turn. That was the Naomi turn, and it was well done. I mean, they've borrowed stuff for Cody Rhodes before. Cody Rhodes beating Brock Lesnar by getting out of the arm submission hold by rolling him onto his back for the pinfall. I mean, that's how Liv Morgan beat Ronda Rousey a year earlier over the summer. So they've found stuff that worked before and had Cody Rhodes borrow it for the Cody Rhodes angle. So yeah, could they borrow the Naomi attacks Jade? The Naomi was the ambusher of Jade Cargill all along. Could they resurrect that for Cody and do it again? Sure. So much of pro wrestling is recycling angles, but with a new twist and new people involved and new details. And, so much of it is the performance. I've heard it say that every big movie is one of three stories. It's either person goes on a journey, a stranger comes to town, or like aliens attack. That's every movie. But it's just got different details, and then the performance, the writing, the presentation has to be worth it. James Taylor used to say that about his songs. Somebody said to James Taylor at one point, all the albums he released, said, James, you've written 150 songs. That's amazing. How do you do it? And he said, well, I've only written 10 songs, about 15 times each. So yeah, there's nothing new. Welcome back, John.
I'm back. I just did all of my dishes.
And you've done the Mr. Rogers.
I did.
You've put on the inside jacket.
Yeah.
That must mean that we're wrapping up the show.
It's really more along the lines of I turned the heater off because I had the jacket on, and I was like, because I get hot sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I'm freezing. So now I have my outside jacket on.
There you go.
I did want to. I was listening to it. Fantastic stuff about Cody. I do think, and not that the crowd is reacting this way, but Cody's been the same character for about 3 years, right? Am I wrong here in saying that when he was chasing?
He's been a babyface for 3 years, but I don't know that he's been the same character. That I don't think that's a distinction without a difference.
Like, he was chasing, then he was the champ.
Yep.
Then he dropped the belt to Cena, then he got it back, and now he's here. Do you think it has enough legs where you can keep him face, or do you kind of see the writing on the wall that you have to turn him heel at some point? Because
boy, I don't know how long you could have someone just be a face and be likable, which was the problem with Super Cena, if you can remember. He just
Yes.
has the title, he wins the title, and he just has it. And that was always the nightmare booking they had with Super Cena.
Well, I gave you the 3 things I need to see for a good turn before.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I think the Cody thing still has legs as a babyface.
Yeah.
Number 1, because they did a brilliant job of not giving him the belt too soon.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns beating him at WrestleMania 39 was the most brilliant booking decision they made, because it made Cody fight from underneath and not look like the Anointed. He had to go through Brock. He did the best 2 out of 3 with Brock. He had to fight back into the title picture. So that's reason number 1, is they didn't pull the trigger too early and make it too easy for him. And the second reason why I think it could work is because he lost to Cena. He lost the belt and still retained his babyface reaction. So as long as they don't, so they proved that they could make him lose without the crowd turning on him. If your babyface can lose and stay babyface, then you've got a gold mine.
Yeah.
Because you can constantly make the guy get screwed over by people, and then he can always chase again, as long as you have good heels to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's why Sting, Ric Flair worked for years.
Yeah.
Because Sting could chase and finally get the title. But then he could lose it and not lose any of his face quality. And he could chase again.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they've learned their lesson from Cena where they make him Superman. I don't think they've made Cody Superman.
No. He hasn't had
So if they
squash.
don't make that mistake, then yes, a guy can be a babyface long term.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to play the role.
And then what'll be weird with that Fatu thing would be if Cody turns heel and then Fatu wins Royal Rumble. Like, is Fatu ready to win Royal Rumble? And is he ready to be that high up? You know?
Yeah. Well, would they take that kind of a chance on the men's side? Because they're taking that kind of a chance on the women's side.
Mm.
Jade Cargill and Stephanie Vaquer are probably the greenest pair of world champions they've had since we've been watching, and maybe in a long time.
You know what's interesting too? You know, they are a little stuck with the old guys lingering around with Brock.
Yes.
With Punk. Punk's an old guy. I know he's hot and over right now, but he's a nostalgia pop guy.
Yep.
Who doesn't have a lot of years left. And you bring in these young guys, and it may not be perfect, but it will be a much more interesting product when the young guys take over. You know? Rather than the old guys who we've seen for a while now, you know? And I'm not saying Cody's one of the old guys. I mean, like, some of the older guys, like, they need to step back a little bit. And this might even include Roman, you know, and Seth Rollins. I mean,
they have been. They're doing stuff outside of wrestling.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like Roman's going after another title, and it doesn't seem... Well, Seth is hurt, so...
Seth is hurt, and Roman's to the point where he doesn't need the title.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's good. Brock Lesnar doesn't need a title.
No.
I mean, Gunther's the future. Braun Breaker is the future.
Braun Breaker.
Bronson Reed could be the future. Jacob Fatu could be the future. Dominic Mysterio could be the future.
Are we going to say it? Another one? Don't make me say it.
Who could be the future?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul is the future. You heard it here first on Don't Bury the Lead.
Oh, my God. He is. He's got to be in that list, right?
Only because he's famous outside of wrestling.
Yeah. True. He's a unique one. He's probably the most unique wrestler on their roster, without question.
Yes.
So like he's hated, but at the end of the day, it's because of what he really is, not the character he portrays. MJF is hated in AEW because of a character he plays.
Yes.
Drew McIntyre is hated because of the character he plays,
Becky
not
Lynch.
the actual person. Logan Paul is hated because of the human being that he is when he wakes up in the morning every day. So it's insane, right?
I don't hate him.
Well, I don't hate him either because he hasn't copyright strike that video.
There you go, right? So we don't
very-
hate him either.
I don't hate him because he hasn't. He could have easily said no, screw that. But I said, hey, the copyright thing came through. I said, hey, this is what is this called? Fair use. It's fair use because
Yeah.
it's a reaction to content, and then they let it go. So at least the company was good to me that works for him and flags
And
this
to be
stuff.
fair, they were just fair with you.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
on the other hand, Google, YouTube would have taken their side
Yes. They wouldn't be
because
fair.
they're just spineless.
Let's get
I don't
another
know
one.
if people hate Drew anymore, but he's a good heel, so they're giving him heel reactions. Nobody hates Becky Lynch, but she's a good heel.
I have some cleaning up to do. You guys can keep chatting.
I don't know how much more we can go here in the Italian goodbye. Do you want to call it an evening, sir?
Let's call it an evening. Fixer, thank you so much. Always fun having you on the show. You add a lot to it, seriously. So thank you so much for joining.
Mm-hmm.
Good conversations. Get back to work too.
If you are able to chime in and don't bury the lead at our live streams while being productive, while being a productive member of society, then more power to you.
Yeah, you've got a special talent, my friend.
You're like Braun Strowman recuperating his body while just punishing his intestines.
All right, on that note, thank you so much, Fixer. Thanks, Dom. This was great. And thank you all to everyone else who watched. We had some other people on YouTube. We had some people on Twitch. So thanks for watching. And have a great rest of your